Howdy guys, Cub here. Welcome to a quick tutorial on how to build my automatic kelp farm in Minecraft. So you can see here, this is the automatic kelp farm that I designed and built on Hermitcraft. So it works on the principle of kelp growing up to be detected by an observer. So whenever a kelp grows 3 blocks tall, pistons push out, kelp gets grown up, and then it basically floats to the surface of the water. It can sometimes get caught down here, but it'll always float back up, as you can see right here. Some of these kelp down here are doing. Then it's collected in the water stream, put into a tunnel, and then it gets put into a minecart with hopper. Now the minecart with hopper, once this thing fills up totally, as I can sort of demonstrate here, this minecart will then launch. It will then go down a furnace array, and then, yeah, this thing is actually a 100% efficient furnace array for dried kelp blocks, and it'll smelt the kelp into dried kelp, and all that kelp will end up right down here in this chest you can see right here. So yeah, once it's done dropping off the items, the cart will then return to this section here and then continue to pick up kelp from this hopper, which is where all the kelp collects. So yeah, that is how the system works, and it produces about just shy of a chest full of kelp, or dried kelp if you build the smelter part as well, per hour. And let's take a look at what you need to build this. So for the automatic kelp farm, you'll need these resources. So you'll need a lot more blocks than this. You don't need blocks of iron, just any sort of block, but I didn't want to count out all the blocks. But everything else should be exact numbers, and you also need about 2 stacks of slabs temporarily for this build. So that's what you need for the kelp farm portion. And then for the smelter portion, if you want to build that as well, you'll need these blocks as well. And again, these blocks of iron are just generic blocks. So those are the resources you're going to need. Let's go ahead and get started with this automatic kelp farm and the smelter array. Okay guys, so let's go ahead and build this thing. So we're going to start off from right here. This is where we want our collection area to be. So our wall is going to be right here, which means that just behind the wall is where we want to start off with our block placement. So this is going to be our center line right here. So on both sides, I'm going to go ahead and now place glass down, just like this. And we want to have 15 blocks plus a 16th block on this side and on the opposite side. So we're going to have 17 glass blocks here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. And then our other wall is going to be right there. Then we're going to do the same for this side right here. There we go. Alright guys, so there's the area where we can walk in and actually observe the farm in here, and it's also going to serve as the water stream leading our items out to the front of our farm in this direction. Next thing we want to do is we want to enclose this portion, this bottom level of the farm. So we're just going to build up like this, and we're just going to build all the way around this way so that we have a 2 by 17 area right here, and then we're just going to simply flood this with water, as you can see right here, and then we're going to do the same thing on the opposite side. Alright, both sides are now flooded with water. We can now go ahead and plant down our kelp. So we're going to plant 15 kelps. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And just be sure you have water source blocks on the side here. That is important to have, and then do the same thing here on the opposite side. Next step, we want to place regular pistons facing toward us so that they will break the kelp blocks once we build up this next water level. So go ahead and place 15 pistons down facing right toward you, and then the same thing on the opposite side. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to build up this layer right here. So build up your wall over here, and then build up your glass or whatever other block you're using in the front here. It doesn't actually have to be glass, it can be whatever you want to, but I'm going to use glass because you can look into the farm so it looks cool. There we go, and then once you have that, go ahead and flood this totally, and make sure they're all water source blocks on this level, and of course do the same thing on the opposite side. Okay, so next thing we want to do is directly behind our regular pistons, we want to go ahead and place down a row of 15 blocks, so just solid blocks like so, and then use those blocks to stand on to place your observers, and you want your observers facing outward in this direction here toward the water. So put them all down right here just like this. There we go. Perfect. Next thing we want to do, build up this wall another block, and then the same thing in the front here. So just like that, and then we'll build up this side as well. And then go ahead and place water down in front of all of the observers here. Very good. And of course, you know, do the same thing on the opposite side, but they're exactly the same. So I'm just going to let you guys do that. And then behind all the observers here, you want to go ahead and place down dust. Should have 15 redstone dust. And like I said, if you want to extend this further, you can do that here. You know, just, you know, keep the same sort of pattern. So you just keep this, extend the dust down, and then put the piston down right there. So yeah, you'd want to add another water block over here if you kept doing that. So just make sure there's always one source block on the side there. But for now, we're going to leave it like that. So yeah, this side is now done, and we just have to do the same thing on the opposite side. Alright, so at this point you should notice that your farm begins to harvest as soon as a kelp grows to 3 blocks tall. Yeah, it should do that, and the item should pop up to the surface of the water here. Next thing we need to do is make the next layer. So this is a little bit different than the first, but every layer beyond this, you go upward, is exactly the same. So thing we need to do here is we need to come out like this. So come from the corner of your farm outward by 1, and then over, so you cover all of the redstone over your behind your observers here. So you need to do something like that and just build it up this way. Then we'll build up the front a little bit as well. And then we'll build up the side a little bit too. There we go. Perfect, just like that. And now we can go ahead and flood this layer here, which is going to be our next layer. So just place down your water so that you form water source blocks everywhere here. And then you want to place your kelp directly on top of the observers here. So 15 kelp on top of your 15 observers right there. And that's your kelp for the next layer planted. Now all you got to do is simply build up your next layer here. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this real quickly. So build up this layer around this side like that. And then of course we want our pistons right here on the block above where the kelp is going to grow, right there. Come to the back side, blocks behind the pistons, similar to what we did on the first level. Just like that, there we go. And then observers once more. Observers down like this on top of all your pistons, facing inward. And then of course you want to build up this layer another block. So we'll just go ahead and do that real quick. So just glass in the front, blocks on the side. There we go. And of course we want to fill up these layers with some water. So we'll just have water across here. Water all across here. There we go. And that should make all source blocks there, I believe. I can just fill in this block right there as well. Perfect. And then we have dust behind all of these observers here. And that is the next layer done. So now we have 2 layers of the farm, and yeah, from there you just keep on going up in that same sort of pattern. So your blocks go over the redstone. Be sure you have the extra block here to make sources once the pistons all extend. And yeah, then just keep building it up in the same fashion. So your kelp is going to go on these blocks right here. So right there. And yeah, then your pistons, of course, go on this next layer up here. And it's just basically repeat that second layer a bunch of times until you reach the top. Alright guys, so we've repeated that pattern here as you can see. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 layers of kelp on each side. Once you get to this point, you're ready to start to make your water streams. So what you're going to do, first thing, is around the top of the 6th layer, I'm going to go ahead and place down a bunch of blocks. So just place down blocks like this and like this all the way across here. There we go. And you want to go ahead and place down an extra layer of water on top of this layer right here. So just place water all along 2 of the sides and it should fill in. Next up, we're going to build up another layer up. So one more layer. So blocks all the way around. And the only difference with this layer here is that you don't want to build up the front side here. So don't put any blocks here. Leave this 1 block lower than the blocks you just placed. Because now what we're going to do is we're going to make some water streams flowing toward the center right here. And what we're going to do for that, we're going to go ahead and place down some slabs. And because this layer is all water source blocks, you can place the slabs without breaking the water source blocks. So place slabs all along here, and just fill in this whole layer with waterlogged slabs. Alright, so there's our waterlogged slabs here. Now we need to get out our water bucket, and we're going to place down water on top of these slabs all along this one side right here. So eventually you'll have something that looks like this with all of the water streams on the very top heading into a collection area in the center of your farm. So the water stream should terminate on the glass blocks here. And then all you have to do is go through and break all the slabs. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And once I'm done with that, I'll do the exact same thing we just did here on the opposite side. Alright guys, so your farm should now look like this, and all the kelp that gets harvested should be falling down the central chamber of your farm. And so if you wanted to, you could stop right here and just run along and pick up all the kelp that falls down here occasionally, or just, place, a hopper minecart down here, or some type of hopper system to collect things, as all the kelp will fall down here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and make a water stream to collect everything, because we want to make a dried kelp smelter out in this direction right here, out in front here. So what I'll do is I'll come over here, 1 block below where the water is. We're going to place down 8 blocks, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Go ahead and place down our water stream there. And there we have it. That looks a little bit weird, but okay. And then we're going to go ahead and come down 1 block here. So we'll come out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 blocks again. And then we'll just drop down here for the final layer for 2 blocks. So we'll just do this, and then this right here. And so this portion right here, now all we need to do is just simply make a tube. And also we need to place down a sign here. So we're going to go and place down a sign right there. And actually, you know what? We'll place a sign over the hole here we're going to make. So, yeah, now we should have the kelp all fallen down onto one point right here. And I'm just going to also extend this tube downwards here. We'll fill in this wall a little bit. There we go. Perfect. And, yeah, we'll just fill in this tube down here so all of our kelp falls straight down. Very good. Alright guys, so we now have our kelp farm collecting kelp into a central block right here. And now it's time to smelt up this kelp into dried kelp. So let's go ahead and make an array that can do just that. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to place down a hopper facing straight down like this right here. So all the kelp will fall into this hopper like that. So there we go. That's what we want to see. Next thing we want to do is we want to place down a block underneath of this. So we're going to have, let's see, we want the blocks to be like this. And we then want to break out the block behind the hopper, place down 2 powered rails like this, and then a detector rail down like that. Then you can break the powered rail behind it, place the block down, and this powered rail should stay at an angle just like that. Place down 2 more blocks here, and then another block here. So we're going to go ahead and place 3 regular rails down there. Then place 2 blocks out here, go a block up, and we're going to need our comparators. So comparator here in comparator mode, then a regular comparator right there, and then we also need a torch on this block here with a piston on it, and we also want a fence on this like so. Now we're going to come out here, block there, block a redstone there, and then place 2 dust just like that going into the side of this comparator. And so what this is going to do is it's going to compare the signal of the hopper minecart here, and if the hopper minecart is full, it's going to launch the cart. So that's what that does right there. Okay guys, so from here we're going to have the turn to our minecart track. So we'll have the track like this and then like this. And we're also going to place a block underneath with a torch on it and get rid of the torch. So yeah, basically the cart is going to go out in this direction, come around and over all the furnaces here, and then turn back in here. So we need our detector rail in this this section here, right before the turn, basically. And so, yeah, let's go ahead and just make this furnace array here. So we're going to place a block down here, another block there, break the middle block, and we're going to place 16 furnaces down. So I'll place 1 furnace in line with the hopper right here, and we'll come out 7 furnaces to the left. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then we'll do 8 on this side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 right there. Very good. Now we're going to need some hoppers. We're going to have hoppers facing straight down into all of the furnaces in our array here. So yeah, just place them straight down into the furnaces there. And we also need furnaces on the back side, leading into the backs of all the furnaces. This is going to be our fuel line, where we put the dried kelp blocks in, just like so. Now let's go ahead and finish this rail line. So we'll bring this rail line down here. We're going to come 2 blocks beyond the end of the hoppers here, and make the turn right there. And then we'll have a rail line on top of these hoppers. We'll come out 2 more blocks, make the turn right here, and then hook up with the previous bit we've already placed down here. So that's going to be the track of our minecart hopper right here. So let's go ahead and now place down some rails. So we'll place down some powered rails here, regular rails on the turn here, and then we'll do some powered rails down here over all of these hoppers. All the way down to the end, we'll place down regular rails on the turn here, more powered rails, and then let's go ahead and do a detector rail, let's say about here or so. And then we'll do regular rails there, and yeah, that should be good. We also need to make the fuel line rail, so let's just bring this out 4 blocks here, powered rail here, regular rail there, and then we'll just do powered rails all the way down on top of these hoppers here till we get to the end. We'll have 1 extra block and then another powered rail. Cool, so there is our setup here. Let's now go ahead and get out some levers. We're going to power all these powered rails and do a little bit of redstone. So yeah, lever there. We'll have, let's say, a lever here or so to get these rails, and we'll probably need another one in this section here, and then one right there. Very good. Okay, so now the only thing we have left to do is the redstone for this detector rail. So we're going to come down beneath this. We're going to place a block down here. We'll need a repeater. I'm going to place a repeater on 4 ticks right here, a dust, and then a repeater on 1 tick right there. Then we'll have a block here, have a comparator facing out in this direction here. Let's see, we'll have this come down into a dust, have a block here, we'll have it go into a repeater. Repeater is going to go into a block, we'll have dust coming down here, and then a repeater in like that, which will lock this repeater. So now let's go ahead and test it out. We'll get out a minecart hopper. So minecart hopper. So if this hopper is empty, as it is when we place it down, we want it to go and turn to the left. So let's just see. Yep, there it goes. Turns to the left, and now it should start filling up. So it's filling up with some kelp here. We'll help fill it up a little bit here. So when it becomes full, you see it launches, goes around the area here. We might need some powered rails right here, for instance. So we'll just do that, and we'll also get a lever to turn those on, just to help it out a little bit. There we go. And so, yeah, now the hopper, you see, is going around and around because there's items in here. And, yeah, basically, it's suppressing this torch turning off. This redstone right here is suppressing this torch turning off, which means as long as there are items in the hopper minecart, the hopper minecart will just go around and around and around and distribute items equally into all of these furnaces. So you see we got 8 in each furnace right now, and it should soon turn to 9. And yeah, it'll keep on distributing in that fashion until it actually runs out of items. And so we should end up with 20 items in each furnace. And then we need a minecart chest in the back here. So put that down here. And what you want to do is you want to fill this up with dried kelp blocks. So let's grab some dried kelp blocks, put this in here. We also need a lever right here, and then just turn this on. And yeah, we should see dried kelps being distributed in here, and you see this first one's already burnt up. So yeah, those will get distributed equally into the furnace array like that. And the final thing you might want to add is a chest. So let's just grab a chest here, put a chest right down here. And then we'll just take furnaces underneath of all of these furnaces, or hoppers underneath all these furnaces rather. And so this will basically just, pull out all the dried kelp, and it should put it into the chest down here. So if we look in here, yeah, get some dried kelp in there, and that is the system complete. So now all you have to do is, if you have a crafting table, right here, for instance, take out your dried kelp from here, put it into the crafting table like so, get some more dried kelp out, and then restock your fuel just like this, and then just send it on its way to put down more dried kelp blocks. So that is it, guys. That's the whole system working. This will now accumulate kelp from the farm and launch and distribute it and burn it as long as there is always fuel in these hoppers back here, in these furnaces, I should say, which is distributed by this minecart. So that's it. You're done. Whole system is now complete. You may have to change up the redstone here, again, just because the orientation that you build this in matters. So, yeah, just be aware of that. You might have to build something slightly different, but it should be generally the same as what I have right here. Anyways, guys, with that, that is the tutorial. Hopefully you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please do leave a like, and be sure to subscribe for more tutorials like this. As always, guys, thanks again for watching. This has been Cub. Goodbye.